It was good. It was good to get out there and compete against a different opponent. Very versatile defense and what Flo do in Minnesota, and it was good to go out there and see different looks and just compete.
What were some of the things you liked versus some of the things you disliked? I know that the offensive line had their problems yesterday, but what were some of the things that you liked and disliked?
Yeah, I don't consider any of those are problems. It just comes down to communications, different looks. This is a joint practice. Usually, going through the week, you kind of have preparation, looking at film, things like this, things like that. But in training camp, you kind of just show up and you kind of try to do the base rules. And sometimes the base rules, the defense might have tendencies that might override those base rules. What we talk about as an offense. So, yeah, I'm very confident in my offensive line. Each one of those guys, they work hard, they study hard, they try hard. So all that stuff can be fixed, and that's why we go through training camps and we practice against different teams. But yeah, overall, there's some good things out there. Keep stacking these days, keep learning, keep growing from it. It's not going to always be perfect, but we always strive to be perfect, and that's why we call it practice and training camp.
It seems that there's an audition going on at left tackle as Jed is still out. What do you think's going on at left tackle?
Yeah, whoever's in is going to play hard. They're going to compete, and that's all we ask for is just to be able to be the best you and communicate with all the other guys up front to make sure we all on the same page, and we know our standard when we step out on the field.
As you increase so hard on yourself all the time, and you are a perfectionist. We've seen that the whole time that you've been here. There's been a few times along the way in this practice where you can tell that you might be getting a little bit frustrated, or at least that's what it has looked like. You might be getting a little frustrated with the way things have gone. But maybe that's an incorrect perception. How do you feel about how it's all coming together with the season just over 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think it is a incorrect perception on me. It's not that I'm frustrated or anything like that. We all show emotion, but at the same time, like we said, we always want to strive for perfect and perfection. And yeah, sometimes we might show a little shrug or head nod or things like that, but don't mean that we're frustrated. We just want to make sure we capitalize and be successful on each play, and that's what you want as a team. You don't want anything to go negative, go wrong, and no one cares about it. So. But overall, like I said before, it's just keep stacking these days, keep growing, keep learning, and that's all we can do. I think the best teams, not during just training camp, is ready for week 1, but ready for week 1 and the other 16 games. And if you can continue to grow with that, that's when the best teams become towards the end of the year.
We saw James over here on Monday. You guys both taking a knee at the end of practice, and he always looks animated, but he looked animated talking to you. What was that conversation about?
Yeah, that conversation was just a personal conversation. It was just both of us just chopping it up. That's how we always talk. So it wasn't anything that was going on with practice or anything like that. It was just, one of those deals that we were, speaking on whatever we were speaking on at the moment, and we just got finished with conditioning, so I was cooked. I was tired. And then he came over. He just being Jameis and just being a motivator, a leader, a good friend, and a great teammate. So we were just talking about just everything that kind of went on.
We've seen you throw pretty much every day since camp began. How do you feel strength-wise and stamina-wise from when camp began?
I feel really good. Each and every day is a test to that stamina, to that strength, to the preparation that I put in, from the day I got out of surgery. And I think that, again, I give all my credit to, Dr. Elatrash out in LA, Elite Ultra Sport and their staff. With the rehab, Dr. Rob, my PT, bodywork guy, going back to Billy Voltaire, my strength and condition, Quincy, my QB coach. Everyone, the staff here with the training staff with Joe and their team, everyone's been on the same page, and that's what we've been. We on the right pace, right track, and if we wasn't on that process, I wouldn't be throwing every day. So it's been good.
Follow, given that you've only played 12 games in the last 3 years, are you okay that you're not getting snaps in the preseason? Is that kind of overrated, or are you content with what the plan is?
The biggest thing with the preseason games, I think it comes down to operational. You're not going to do too much in preseason. You're not going to show anything. So it's really just operational. So that's why, I take a lot of reps, if not majority of all the reps in these joint practices, because it's game like, going against different opponents, different things. So, Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, once you step on the field, you got to perform and you got to play. So,
How do you think working in this offense with Ken Dorsey is going to make you a better quarterback this season?
it's a different scheme that is very similar to what I did before in Houston, coming from the same kind of similar background, and just being able to have, Ken, who played the position, being with some high class quarterbacks in Cam and Josh Allen, and just being around a lot of football. Very smart, and he's a very player-led coach, just like Stefanski, and he let his players kind of do what they need to do for their talent to be shown.
Deshaun, off of Tom's question about the preseason, Kevin said the plan is for you to play in Seattle. How excited are you looking for toward that opportunity to get back there and in a game setting? And how do you sort of mentally prepare yourself, to get into kind of game week, that sort of mode?
You just take it one day at a time. Like right now, we're in training camp mode, so we're focusing on today. But whenever that time comes, and whatever that day presents, we focus on that. So at the end of the day, it's just competing. You just gotta go out there and compete and just go play football.
With the shoulder deep, you got some fire game the other day that you posted about 5 weeks back. Walk me through that back piece. I'm sure it was a lot of things on there meaningful to you. Harrison Square, MLK.
For sure.
Walk me through it and everything like that.
Yeah, so my back piece is my story, it's my lifeline. I got my mom, and I have my beautiful queen lady, Jillian, two of my heroes of my life. And then I got, two little, I forget what you call them, pieces of an older me and a younger me holding hands. And it's basically an outlook of, on top is more glory with the clouds. And it's basically an outlook of just my story. And it just kind of trickles on down. Harrison Square, 15 Harrison Square is a Section 8 apartments I grew up in, where I learned how to play football, learned a lot of just about life. And then I have the rings, state championship, national championship, and then of course I have the other one, whenever that comes, the Super Bowl one. And then I have, the Popeye is forever strong. So whatever you go through, just being strong and, taking it one step at a time. And then I have the Astro World 6. That's for like my friends back home, my homeboys. It's six. Well, it's really 8 of us, but at the time it was 6 of us. We call each other the 6. I actually have it tatted right here too. That's for my homeboys. And then the Martin Luther King was just, being, African American, a guy that I looked up to growing up during school, and then having a dream, as a young kid growing up in Harrison Square, the percentage is very low and of making it out, not just football, but just in life in general. So I have a lot of people that I grew up with that, I looked up to, and that's still, in the same predicament that they were before. But, when you looking up as a kid to those type of people, and then the roles were reversed, and they want their kids and themselves to look up to me. It's a high standard that I continue to carry on my back and on my shoulders. So hopefully I didn't miss anything. I got my snowflakes, and each snowflake has a name in it. I have my brothers, Tyreek, Dietrich, and then my sister, and then I got one at the bottom is Watson for the Watson family. I think. And then I got legendary, of course, being legendary, and I think that was pretty much it. If I missed something, then it's part of my story, though.
No, man, this is all in one session too, right?
Yeah, all in one session, most definitely. Shout out to Otega Inc. out of Arizona.
Sean, can you talk about just how important Jameis has been to you this whole entire off-season and preseason, and just those talks that you had on the field? How much does that mean to you, and how do you think that's really going to help you throughout this whole season?
Yeah, it's going to help both of us. I think, coming from similar but different backgrounds, he's been, played a lot of football. He's been at the highest level, been around other pro quarterbacks. So for me, it's to be able to learn and build off the knowledge, and then vice versa. Him learning from me and what I see, and different schemes and different offenses and success that I had. So, we feeding off each other, and not just us two, but the whole room. Snoop, DTR, we're a brotherhood. So, every time you see us moving, it's probably one of us with each other. So that's the chemistry and the love that we have in our room is definitely one of the best I've ever had.
Is there something you still have to prove to yourself with the shoulder?
No, just keep stacking the days and keep trying to make each and every throw. like before, and it's only going to continue to get better.
What about taking a hit? Like, do you think that will be valuable if you play in that Seattle game like Kevin plans?
Nah,
do you feel like you need to take a hit?
Nah, I'm not trying to take a hit. So that's not even on my mind. I'm trying to just come out clean each and every game. So that ain't on my mind to take a hit for sure.
Deshaun, when did you officially get medically cleared for contact? Because Kevin had mentioned earlier in the week that you have been medically cleared.
Probably before training camp, to be honest. That's the communication with Joe and them. So I don't know. I just know Dr. Elatrosh, she cleared me for everything.
So nobody had come to you directly and been like, all right, you're good to go in preseason games and just full contact.
I mean, Joe mentioned it. I think that, like I said, that was a conversation with the front office and Dr. Elatrosh. So, Joe just said, hey, I'm cleared. So that means, for me, it means that everything.
With you going against another team for the first time in this joint practices, coming off the rehab, coming off the surgery, do you consider these 2 days of joint practices important for your confidence on this comeback trip?
I mean, yeah. Every day is a confidence booster. You know what I'm saying? So not just going against different opponents, different teams, a great Minnesota team, but against a great defensive team too. They don't take it light on me, and I don't want them to go out there and be like, oh, Ford had a shoulder injury, so let's not, let's just take it light whenever you didn't know. We all compete. We all gonna play like we gonna play in the game. So when I step on the field between those lines, I got to perform. Nothing else matter, regardless of an injury or not. So
Couple more. How do you feel about playing under center versus shotgun?
It don't matter to me, to be honest.
Generally, there come some quarterbacks that are hesitant. They've played a lot of shotgun to, turn their back on the defense. Can you explain why that is and how that became a non-issue for you, I guess?
I mean, it's always been a non-issue for me. I play some under center stuff in Houston. Did a lot of that play action stuff under center. So for me, it was right now. I mean, 8 years in, like it doesn't bother me. If you would have asked me my rookie year, maybe, but no.
Deshaun, how much is it helping you to have to go against Miles Garrett in practice? He seems like he's in beast mode this camp. How much is it getting you ready for Micah Parsons in the season to have to deal with Miles every day?
Yeah, I mean, Miles is he's the best in the world, and I think everyone knows that. So it's not just good for me, but the whole offense and our offensive linemen. If you can block Miles or try to block Miles and you learn from him, then I think you can block anybody in this league. So it's a blessing, and it's great to have him on our team and call him a teammate, and it's fun to be able to go against him each and every day.
Jerry's been in and out of the lineup, pretty much throughout training camp. Where do you think your timing and chemistry is with Jerry?
Yeah, it's coming along. We just got to continue to grow and continue to go. I think with everyone is just going to be able to do that. There was been limited times where, I only played 12 games in the last 2 years. So, the chemistry and the timing, especially with a new system, that's going to continue to grow, and that's going to continue to go as the reps continue to build up and throughout training camp and throughout the season. So it's going to be fun to just continue to have that.
Kevin
Knowing
said
how
you're playing.
competitive you are, when Kevin told you that you weren't going to be playing in the preseason games, was there any pushback on your part?
No, not at all. Like I said, they all have a real plan for when I need to step out there, what they want to see from me. So we all talk about it. We all speak on it. Not just Kevin making that decision and I just got to go with it. He sits me down. We talk about it. Ken is involved. AB is involved. Joe and the training staff is involved. So it's not just a one-on-one kind of conversation. It's a group. And of course I would love to play, but at the end of the day, we got to get ready for a 17-plus game season.
Deshaun, off of that, Kevin talks a lot about how these joint practices, he feels that you can get a lot accomplished in those equal to a preseason game. From a player standpoint, do you feel you guys get just as much, if not more, out of days like yesterday and today as you do in a preseason game?
I think you get more. I think the only thing that you don't get is like live kind of situational. As when I say live, you kind of still get those situations throughout practice, but the course of how the game is going to flow. Outside of that, I think you get more just because, the defense, they don't have any type of true, like kind of responsibility to if they get beat. They can try anything. They can try everything. So, going into a game, on third and medium, you kind of get the package smaller. But in practice, they can throw out anything because they can try and see what works for them. So, It's all a building. I think these joint practices is you gotta go back to your base rules and fundamentals.
So Kevin said you are playing in Seattle. Is that your understanding?
Nah, that was the first time I heard that one, so I don't know. But if I am, I'm playing.
These are
Yeah.
the teams planning to have you play on
Okay,
on a preseason game. You didn't hear that?
that's fine with me. Yeah,
You
I
talked
don't
about your
even know.
connection with Jameis, and for you in this game, how important is mentorship, and how much of a role does that play in being able to go out there through tough stuff and adversity?
I mean, it's an everyday role, on and off the field, and I think that a lot of guys, on this team, come to me and ask me different questions of what I've been through, how to handle situations, and I do the same thing, and I tell all the guys that I'm serving leaders, so I'm always here to serve other people and help them out and try to make them and have them be the best ability they can be on and off the field. So, yeah, it's definitely huge, and I'm just going to continue to be that for all my teammates.
Last one.
You guys are on a mission, obviously, this season. Does the Mike Hall situation present any kind of a distraction for you guys, or are you so locked in that you're closing ranks and can deal with something?
Yeah, we all locked in practicing, and that situation is going to get handled with the front office, and we just got to keep focusing on what the main thing is.
Thank you.
Thank you.